Hi guys, this is Daryl and welcome back to Book Odyssey. Today I'm going to be looking at a few reasons why you might want to read the Murderbot Diaries by Martha Wells. I could have become a mass murderer after I hacked my Governor module, but then I realised I could access the combined feed of entertainment channels carried on the company satellites. As a heartless killing machine, I was a terrible failure. The Murderbot Diaries is a science fiction series by American author Martha Wells, published by Tor.com. The ongoing series is about an artificial construct designed as a security unit, which manages to override its Governor module, enabling it to develop independence, which it primarily uses to watch soap operas. As it spends more time with a series of humans and fellow bots, it starts developing friendships and emotional connections, which it finds inconvenient. There are 5 published novellas in the Murderbot Diaries, which begin with All Systems Red, and 1 full novel, Network Effect. The most recent instalment was Fugitive Telemetry, and another instalment is due this year. All Systems Red won the 2018 Nebula Award for Best Novella and the Hugo Award for Best Novella. Network Effect won the 2021 Nebula Award for Best Novel and the Hugo Award for Best Novel. The Murderbot Diaries won the 2021 Hugo Award for Best Series. Wells' strategy of telling this story through novellas turns what might otherwise be a longer novel into something slightly different. Each book serves as a self-contained story that builds on the larger story in incremental amounts. So why might you want to read the series? Firstly, if you're a fan of character-driven sci-fi, then look no further. The Murderbot Diaries begins when a scientific expedition on an alien planet goes awry. One of the expedition crews is attacked and is saved by our protagonist, the expedition's SEC unit, which is short for security unit, a cyborg security agent. The SEC unit, we learn, has secretly hacked the Governor module that allows it to be controlled by humans, and that it has named itself Murderbot, because its primary function, by its own admission, is murder. But rather than go around killing people, it actually prefers to spend its time watching soap operas. Another central pillar to Murderbot's personality is its social anxiety when dealing with humans. Target 2's grey face went surprised, then furious. It was kind of funny. This was a point where if I was human, I might have laughed. I decided to go with my first inclination and kill the shit out of some ass-faced hostiles instead. Murderbot is everything you don't expect from a security cyborg agent, and that's why it's so likeable. Add to this the painfully relatable social anxiety it feels, its hilarious and astute commentary on humans and their weird behaviour, plus the fact that despite all this it wants to do the right thing, despite often trying to talk itself out of it, and you get a protagonist that you can't help but root for. Wells manages to capture the first-person internal narrative of Murderbot flawlessly, moving the fast-paced plot forward and delivering punchy dialogue that not only carries the story forward, but crafts an unforgettable character on a journey of self-discovery. And despite all the wrappings of an action-packed science fiction plot, that's essentially what you have with the Murderbot Diaries, an offbeat and oddly relatable coming-of-age story. We experience everything through the perspective of Murderbot, and Wells' approach to this narrative expertly lets us experience its growth as we're taken along for the ride. While we experience everything through Murderbot's perspective, that doesn't mean Wells skimps on the character development of the diverse human and bot characters that Murderbot finds itself involved with. Another character of note is the AI transport ship named Perihelion, who Murderbot refers to as Art, which is lovingly short for Asshole Research Transport. The relationship and dialogue between Murderbot and Art alone make for great reading. The second reason to read the Murderbot Diaries is because of the tactics and tech. I like protecting people and things. I liked figuring out smart ways to protect people and things. I liked being right. Wells knows how to write military sci-fi. Although I guess this isn't military sci-fi in the strictest sense, but it has many aspects that I enjoy in military sci-fi, for example, interesting weaponry, tech and concepts. The tech in the Murderbot Diaries is plausible and understandable. You might even say it's grounded in realism. What I mean by this is that you can easily believe this tech exists, and that it will someday exist without much effort. Wells clearly took a futurism approach to this in order to make it convincing. Related to this is how Wells meticulously plans how Murderbot is going to execute its plans. Because we see everything from the perspective of Murderbot, we get to be involved in the tactics and watch as it all unfolds. Obviously not everything goes to Murderbot's plans, but we're able to be immersed in the finer details of how it reacts to the unexpected, formulate new plans, and then execute them in a very bot-like way. This is a very satisfying thing if, like me, you have an architect personality type. Wells takes us through it all in an immersive detail that manages to avoid being infodumpy. What it does is bring us closer to the protagonist so that it feels like we're intimately involved in the decision making. We understand Murderbot when most people around it don't. The third reason to read the Murderbot Diaries is because of the mystery. Pretending bad things aren't happening is not a great survival strategy. At the beginning of the series, the world building could be described as being pretty light. But as we go through, it's clear that this is done with intent. I think a reason for this is because we only know and experience what Murderbot knows and experiences. So as the series develops and Murderbot's own horizons expand and its experiences grow, so too does the world it inhabits. We come to learn about the powerful collection of private organisations called Corporation Rim, whose expansive territories operate under what could be labelled an extreme form of capitalism. Everything, including human life, has a monetary value and can be bought and sold. We also learn that not all territories are controlled by Corporation Rim. We come to understand the society and culture that has informed Murderbot's attitude, its past, and the underlying mystery surrounding the events in the series. With the internal rationale and deduction going on, you would even be justified in saying there is a murder mystery element or detective novel element to the story. This elevates the series into much more than a simple blast fest. The fourth reason to read the Murderbot Diaries is because of the clear allegory. Murderbots aren't allowed to ride with the humans, and I had to have verbal permission to enter. With my crack governor, there was nothing to stop me, but not letting anybody, especially the people who held my contract, know that I was a free agent was kind of important. Like, not having my organic components destroyed and the rest of me cut up for parts important. As you get through the series, Wells introduces more and more of the world, as I've spoken about, and this leads to political, societal and cultural diversity. What's abundantly clear from the beginning, however, almost from the very first page, are the allegorical themes that are explored through the Murderbot Diaries. As I've spoken about, one of the heavy-hitting themes is one of self-discovery, but running alongside this are themes of freedom and what it means to be free, oppression, prejudice and discrimination. We understand through Murderbot how it feels for it to be considered an object, less than human, to be owned like a piece of property. We see how Murderbot has a social anxiety when it's around humans, which is portrayed in a witty and often hilarious way. But Wells doesn't make light of the topic, which is done really very well, and we come to learn that not only does Murderbot not like being around humans, but most humans don't like being around it either. People are scared of it, they don't want to be around it, which apparently has a lot to do with how sec units are portrayed in the many media that Murderbot watches. Basically as ruthless killing machines. So there's a lot that we can take away from it in terms of the themes and messages that run beneath the cutting humour. In summary, the Murderbot Diaries are fun. You read them and you have fun doing it. You get taken along for the ride, and before you know it, you're totally invested in the characters and you find yourself appreciating it on a deeper level. A level you didn't really expect for something that's so fun. I like the imaginary people on the entertainment feed way more than I like real ones, but you can't have one without the other.